Hey, welcome back to the Tangent Plant. I'm Colton.
I'm Devin. Um, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I usually do that at the end of the video. I should always do it at the beginning of the video, but I always forget. But here we are. Um, Colton, it has been a beautiful day. It's the weather this week has been shite.
It's been
But
bipolar as
today,
hell for sure.
yeah, it has. But today was good weather. I can't complain
It
about
was
it.
chilly, but the wind didn't blow real hard, and the sun was shining most of the day. So
Yes, I agree with that. Um, oh my gosh, dude, it has been a long day, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to um, do this. So we're gonna do things a little bit differently today. We're gonna do our random little jokes and our facts and stuff like that. But I brought up I brought up a lot of people multiple times. Mel Gibson is one of them. Mel Gibson's a stud. I say that forever and always. But Andrew Jackson is a very clever guy. So today, after we do some of our stuff, we're gonna do a little segment on Andrew Jackson, just his life, what he did, and to see where it goes. This might be something we do more often. Colton picks somebody of interest. I'm not up to date. I'm not really up to date with gay porn stars.
I do know a guy that did that one time, but that's
Did
a
what?
gay porn.
Mm.
But that's a super
Is it you?
secret time. No, it's not me. He doesn't like to talk about it, and the video's been removed from the internet.
Well, that's good. Is he gay?
No, he's married.
Oh.
Is he married? He's been in a couple relationships. I don't know if he's. I think no. I think he is married because they have a kid together now.
How does that work? Then how did he get was he just drunk or on pills?
Do what?
Was he just drunk or on pills? How does the straight guy end up in a gay porno?
Money.
Oh.
They paid him a whole bunch of money to do it.
Oh.
Like an ass, like literally an asinine amount of money to do it. Money will make people do crazy shit.
Yeah.
Literally make people make people fuck dudes for a whole bunch of money.
That's gay. Okay. Well,
Nice guy. I've known him a long
yeah.
time. Growing up, he was one of my best friends. But
So what I want to hit you with
please don't.
is,
I'll call the police.
well, I'm shocked by that statement. You seem like one of those guys.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't
I'll call the
I
fucking
don't call
cops. I'll call the
yeah, I'll call
police.
cops. Yeah, I'll call cops.
Don't you touch me, I'll
Um,
sue you.
well, I'll touch you when you're sleeping. You'll never know.
Shit.
Yeah,
Sneaky.
put that together.
Sneaky boy.
I'm
Joke's on
sneaky.
you. My floor's creak, so I'll hear you coming.
Joke's on you. I'll create a little zip line in your house, and I'll do it right from your door to your bedroom, and I'll never touch the floor.
Oh, you don't think I'll hear the grappling hook bury itself in my bedroom wall?
No, 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 you won't. You'll never know what's coming, and all of a sudden you're getting tickled, and you're giggling in your sleep, and you wake up and it's just me there, just tickling away.
Make me feel special or terrified?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get
So
creative with it. Anyways,
I'm just laying in bed, turning into the Willem Dafoe.
yeah, yeah, it's me just sitting there with my best RFK voice, just plotting everyone's demise.
The vaccines are turning the kids
Yeah,
autistic.
yeah. Those are some of the best ones of him being the what is it called? Sleep paralysis demons. That always gets me. That always gets me going.
I
Or when
used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats.
yeah, just a real wild, crazy guy.
And that's the guy we're supposed to be taking health advice from.
I mean, he is ripped. He probably looks better than any other.
Oh, I won't take that from him for sure. About the best looking. How old is he? 70 something.
Hmm. He's a good looking cat.
I'm all with him for taking the nasty stuff out of our food and the chemicals and the unnecessary dyes and all that. But man,
I agree.
some of the harebrained theories he comes up with.
Hey, here's the crazy part. A lot of conspiracy theories from 10 years ago or 15 years ago happen to be True about a bunch of them.
Yeah, conspiracy theorists usually do go undefeated.
Yeah. So I put my hands up to that one. Great Depression stuff. Let's talk about something
Huh.
depressing. It's so
Sweet.
depressing, it's great. It wasn't just a bad economy, it was a complete culture and societal overhaul. While we often think of soup lines and dusty farms, some of the specific details are truly surreal to today's standards. One, flour sacks became high fashion. When food became a priority over clothing, mothers began sewing clothes for their children out of empty burlap, flour, and feed sacks.
Start making
That was,
start making meat dresses like Lady Gaga wore that one time.
yes,
Sewing
except,
kids' clothes out of.
but once flour companies realized it was happening, they didn't just ignore it. They started printing their sacks with bright floral patterns. Yeah, pull it.
So that they were actually helping the poor folks, not just
Yeah, there was
shitting on them. That's
dots, there
kind of
was
where I thought that was
borders.
going.
No, Al Capone opened up a soup kitchen. That was not
Wow.
so. Also, the
Yeah.
reason why milk has expiration dates on it is because of Al Capone, because one of his children or somebody died because of like bad milk. So he like did a bunch of stuff and got it so where like milk, like cartons and stuff had to have expiration dates on it. That
Bah.
was Al Capone.
If you're too stupid to figure out when your milk's bad, that's on you.
I have no
If you're
idea.
drinking milk that smells like hot garbage and stale feet, rotten and hard-boiled eggs, maybe you should be evaluated.
So in the peak of the Great Depression, 1933, 25% of the population was unemployed. The yearly salary went from $2,300 a year in 1929 to $1,500 a year. Bank failures, over 9,000 banks closed during the Great Depression.
Dang.
Um, yeah. Now, the Golden Gate Bridge was a Depression project, so was the Hoover Dam and the
Mm-hmm.
Empire State Building, finished in just 410 days. So a year and some change,
Yeah.
the Empire State. So I think that while it seems basically what happens is that like there were some companies that skyrocketed during this. Not skyrocketed, I shouldn't say that, but like during the worst of it, some industry like thrived. Movie theaters and board game companies like Parker Brothers with Monopoly stayed in business because people were desperate for any form of cheap escapism. So back in the day,
So nothing's really changed.
no, nothing's changed. Well, Caesar said it best. Like, if you want to distract people, take them to the circus, go entertain them, and that's still true to this day. I mean,
Movie
that's
theaters, national sports
sports.
leagues,
Yeah, all of it. I mean, it's just all big. It's just one big, like, not
the
facade.
political stage,
Yeah, but think about it. If you had 1,500 million people, or 15,
1,500.
yeah, 1,500 million people, another fake
50
number.
bajillion million people.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if you had all these people, or a fraction of people that love football and NASCAR and
Yeah,
baseball and
NASCAR's another
hockey,
one.
all those, if those people stopped watching it and just focused on like what's going on in the country, it would probably be not great for the people that want them to watch these things. Not only that, because they'd lose shit tons of money,
Oh, yeah.
but just the overall side of it. I mean,
Well, that and the people that are distracted by, their like fantasy football leagues and March Madness and all that, to all of a sudden stop doing that. I bet the suicide rate would skyrocket because all of a sudden they're not distracted by all this stuff. And then they're like, oh, wow, the State of the Union actually fucking sucks. And then they just don't want to play no more.
well, not only that, but like, I'm sorry, this is gonna come off kind of douchey, and I don't mean any harm, but like when dudes are so into like stats
Yeah.
and like constantly, it's like, what do you do with your life though? I mean, look, could you be doing worse things like drugs? Sure.
Yeah,
Or like,
you could be doing heroin
yeah,
under a bridge somewhere,
but
sucking
like
dudes off for drug money.
it's nerdy and they make it not nerdy because it's about football. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, but you're talking stats here. You're talking statistics.
yeah.
Like, no offense. I love fighting. I love the
God
UFC. I used
forbid
to
a
be a
man have
total
a hobby,
nerd.
Devin.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing as like someone like messing with like model trains and stuff. It's just like, Yeah.
Fuck you. I like trains.
Trains are cool to watch go on the train. You know what I like about trains? The graffiti.
Graffiti is pretty cool. Now, if the people that would make some of that graffiti would turn their life around and do something productive with that talent, or even like take that and paint murals on buildings and stuff, like and get paid for it instead of just doing dumb shit to train cars, I think the
Yeah,
world would be a lot prettier place.
I think so too. Um, but like here's the thing. I don't mind like model planes. There's some cool stuff people do with like these RC planes and stuff. Like it's not that I'm hating on these people. I just like I don't know, maybe when I get older I might get into something like that.
Yeah.
But as
Yeah,
of
because
right
something
now
like
it's
that takes a lot of time,
yeah.
especially, if you're hand making all the little houses and you're building the hills and you're on your, what is it, O scale or something, H, something like that. They're in letters, but, it takes time that a lot of working people don't have, especially if you got a family and small kids and stuff.
Right.
But because I, for one, like if there's I okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. If there's like a train show or something in town, like a uh is it HOOH? I think it's HO hobby train show around this area.
Yeah.
I never go, but I've always wanted to. Like I
I
like
bet
watch
you're there. I
no.
bet you're there all the time.
When Brick World comes to town and they do the Lego show at the Coliseum,
Hmm.
that's a cool show. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you should go there because like the last time they had, or the last time I was there, they had the Technic sets
Hmm.
there. They had like all kinds of stuff. They had well, not a functioning, but like a combine that the header, the reel moved, right? The draper belts turned. You could see the separator, the rotor in there turning on the inside of the combine, and the bubble up auger in the hopper was turning. It was really damn cool. And there was a couple of Kloss tractors with planters, or there was one Kloss tractor with a planter, one Kloss tractor with a tillage implement of some kind that actually had like functioning folding wings on the implement. It
Hmm.
was super cool. And then there was a couple of guys there with Lego trains, and there was, I think it was, I don't know if it was a world record, but it was some kind of record holding, like the longest continuous system. It was just one big loop that I don't remember how many. It was several hundred feet long from like start to start.
Yeah.
And then there was there was somebody there. I mean, it was a booth, but they had like it was almost like wizard's chess, but with robots. Like the robots, it would just do it on its own based on what it saw in its vicinity.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool show, and they had a bunch of stuff there. It was for sale, like um uh and they had them for like pretty decent discounts too, like several $100 sets for 100 or 200 bucks. It was a pretty cool show. I don't remember. It was been a couple years ago when we went because I don't think we had 4 kids then. We might have
What the?
had we might have had 2 or 3 kids by then, but I don't remember. It's been a
It's
couple
gonna
years ago
piss me off. I-
because you're gay.
You know, it's funny that you call me gay because for the past 3 minutes you've been talking about fucking Lego sets and trains. So why don't you take that thought and shove it up your ass? Anyways,
You'd like that, wouldn't you, you gay boy, watching me shove something up my ass?
just wait until I fucking tickle you, man. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna.
For the listeners, we're recording this on the night that we were supposed to go bowling. Speaking of rivalries, so that has been postponed because your boy has got a new job, and I had a whole bunch of shopping and laundry and packing to do because I leave for Alabama first thing in the morning tomorrow. So we didn't get to we didn't get I didn't get to kick his ass in bowling tonight, unfortunately.
We went on the date anyways. I took my brother and his fiance,
Mm,
and we went to Bubba's, and it was great.
I bet it was. That
And
was
we
that
went,
was the place that we were supposed to go for the first
yeah.
time together, but that's fine.
We went to Crazy Pins, and it was packed. So we played mini golf while
I
we
feel
waited
I
for
feel
a
like I
lane.
feel like I've been cheated on.
I feel like I've been.
You lost your Bubba's virginity when we were supposed to lose it together, but it's fine.
I feel like I've been betrayed, like I've been forgotten about and thrown to the
Not even
wayside.
forgotten about. You know why? Because I'm still here doing
Yeah,
this with you. So
yeah. Well, there's other places in Fort Wayne I haven't been before.
I've been everywhere, man, except for Bubba's 33.
Well, I'll
You
take
know
you
what
there,
though?
and
I've never been to a McAllister's Deli.
I
Never
haven't
been
either,
there.
and I think there's a good reason why we haven't.
Oh yeah, I've heard good
Yeah,
things that everybody really likes going there.
I don't believe them. I think I think they're lying to everybody. I think McAllister's is dog water. Same thing with Boston
You
Market.
just said you never been there.
Yeah, but that's why I haven't been there before.
Well, then how do you know? You're like a toddler. I don't like it. Have you had it? No. Well, then how do you know?
Boston Boston Market, same thing. Never had it.
You can pack that right into your own dick hole and suck it out and not on the camera.
You know what I don't see a lot of? Boston markets
Yeah, they
anywhere.
closed.
Yeah, I
They
wonder
all closed
why.
down
Probably because they're dog water.
because people like you that don't have any kind of palate taste that's worth a damn. My mom used to like my grandpa would have like specialist appointments and stuff on occasion in Toledo,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she would always bring back like a full family meal from the Boston market and heat it all up in the oven when she got home, because obviously it's an hour and a half drive from here to there, so it'd be cold by the time it got here. So she would just warm everything back up in the oven, and even reheated was some of the best food ever. I loved it.
Huh?
Same thing with Lee's famous recipe chicken. My wife makes fun of me
Ah,
all the time because she
it
said that's for old
sucks.
people, and I love Lee's chicken.
It's just never been a great. It's just never been a
Same thing
great
with
thing.
Penguin Point. You know how upset I was when
Gross,
Penguin Point
bro.
closed down?
What the fuck?
Dude,
They're so bad.
No, dude.
Yeah, bro.
No, I loved Penguin Point ever since I was a kid. Me and like we would me and a couple friends would load up on motorcycles and make special trips to Penguin Point just to get the Big Wally or whatever it was. Is their version of a Big Mac. Dude, I loved Penguin Point. And then they closed all their stores too because people like
I
you
wonder why.
that don't have any kind
No,
of
dude.
your taste buds don't work.
Your taste buds sound like they're dog water because all the places you like have closed down.
Poor management. That's what it is. They
Mm,
misallocated the funds to pay the bills.
because nobody was coming there to eat their food.
You know what the best part about it was is that there was nobody ever in line. You would get
I
your
wonder
foods,
why.
you'd get in there, get ordered, and your food would be there lickety split. And it was always fresh and hot, and the fries were crispy.
You know, you proved my point while trying to prove your point, and I appreciate you for doing that. What a friend.
Silver linings.
You know what the silver lining is? In 10 years from now, you're going to be able to tell your kid about a dog water restaurant that doesn't exist anymore.
With
That's the silver
nostalgia.
lining.
With
Yeah,
nostalgia.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's silver lining, I guess, at its best.
Your mama.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Didn't think about
Your
that, did you?
mama. Your
No,
mama.
no, not my mama. Your mama.
Your stepmom. So, how about that? Yeah.
How about that? You didn't think about that?
Uh, I don't really care about that. So,
Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts and was first displayed at the New York Toy Fair on March 9th, 1959. Did you know that? Probably not.
no, it's strange. It's strange that you lead in with the Barbie fact. Is Ken's name Kenneth or is it just Ken?
It's probably Kenneth.
Or Kenny, I guess, which is, I think, even
Also
short still
short
for
for
Ken.
Kenneth, yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
big stupid idiot. You didn't even make any kind of sense with that.
I think you're just upset because You proved my point about your dog water restaurants that you like.
I refuse to put my tail between my legs.
No, the restaurants did it for you. That's why they don't exist anymore. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I think this is a good time to jump into the Andrew Jackson segment, unless you want to talk more Barbie facts.
The no number before 1,000 contains the letter A. That's a fun fact. It's a fun little tidbit.
No number. Okay.
20% of office coffee mugs contain fecal matter. Do you know that? I bet you're drinking poop every morning when you're drinking your coffee. You dirty
I don't
boy.
have any. I don't have any mugs at work, so I get mine from the gas station or Dunkin'.
The gas station ran by Haji's. You think there's no
No,
poop on the
no, no,
coffee at the gas station?
no. The gas station I go to is only ran. There's only Americans that work there.
In the 1960s, the CIA attempted to turn cats into spying devices in a program called Acoustic Kitty.
That did not work out that well.
The smallest penguin on the planet is only 16 inches tall.
It's a cute little penguin.
It is a cute little penguin. I like penguins. They're cute.
Yeah, I like penguins too.
Penguins are fun. Till they, till
King
they,
penguins can get
till they,
tall.
yeah. At one time, there was like, I mean, long time ago, many, many thousands of years ago, there was a penguin that was like 6 or 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fuck ass huge penguin.
Yeah. Um. So
3 U.S. presidents, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe, died on July 4th,
Yep.
with
Yep.
Adams and Jefferson dying in the same year of
Mm-hmm.
1826. So
Yep.
they both died on the same day.
Yep.
I bet
Hours apart from each other.
I bet they were holding hands like the
No,
Notebook
one was no. They weren't. They weren't holding hands. They
because they're
weren't holding
gay.
hands. You. First of all, you don't talk about our founding fathers in such a manner. You have some respect and some decorum when you talk about those men. You know what? You know what they would say? They probably shit on Boston Market because how dog water of a restaurant anti-American it is, like your values. Talking poorly about our founding fathers, sir, you should be ashamed.
Humans shed around 200 million skin cells every hour, which indoors contributes to the majority of your dust accumulation.
Yes, yes, dust is just dead skin.
Glaciers and ice sheets hold about 69% of the world's fresh water, while oceans contain over 96% of all water, mostly salt water. Yeah, I'd say. The fuck did you need to add that for? The fastest wind gust ever recorded was 253 mile an hour during Cyclone Olivia off Barrow Island, Australia in 1996.
Oh, some
Holy
people
shit.
lost their houses that day.
Yeah, I'd say. Probably lost a few dogs, mother-in-laws. Lightning strikes are extremely hot, reaching 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the surface of the sun, and can petrify sand into lightning fossils. I've seen that. You ever seen that? People will go out on the beach and stick like metal rods in the beach, and then wait for the storm to roll in, and then hope that one of them gets struck, and they'll like excavate it and pull out these magnificent, just they got a bunch of phalanges coming off of them, branching out into the sand.
It's
They're really
class.
cool.
It's
Yeah, I know.
class.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The movie Sweet Home Alabama. The movie Sweet Home Alabama, the guy that she has to get a divorce from, and then married again or whatever. That's what he does for a living, and he's a pilot.
Oh,
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen that movie before.
you have.
Have I said that I watched that?
Yes, you have. Yeah, yeah. Give me two more facts.
2 more. Otters sleep holding hands to avoid drifting apart while floating.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cute.
That is tits.
There are more life forms living on your skin than there are people on the planet. Every person carries their own little microscopic ecosystem across your whole body.
What up, son? Yeah.
I wonder if that's like the same germs and stuff, like from person to person, or if it's like every person is like a snowflake.
Haven't you ever seen Osmosis Jones?
Well, yeah, but I wonder if like every person's microscopic ecosystem is different because like there's
Probably in some way or shape or form.
between like nobody's fingerprints the same.
Yeah.
Did you know your butthole is like your fingerprint? Your butthole, like no two people have the same butthole. That's
Well,
pretty.
never really
That's
thought about it that
that's
way.
that's pretty fun. No two people have the same amount of wrinkles or in the same configuration.
So there's a universe out there, if the whole affinity thing is true, where instead of they do your fingers every time you get arrested, they stamp your butthole,
They could,
and
yeah.
then they could, yeah.
There's a company out there. Did you know that you could take a plaster mold of your butthole and turn it to chocolates and mail it to people?
No, there's probably some fecal matter on that on your chocolates.
I'm gonna Google that. Butthole chocolate. Let's see. Dicks by mail, not a sponsor. As a box of chocolates called Eat Ass Chocolate Buttholes, a sweet treat. Assorted anus chocolates. That's pretty fun.
There's also a company.
The box says live fast, eat ass.
There's a company also that you can take a mold of your erect penis, and they'll turn it into a dildo for a loved one.
Dope.
Yep. Yeah.
Mine would be very like if you're trying to do it as a threat, nobody would be scared. Just
How?
like, could you imagine opening your front door to just a box that you didn't order and you open it up, it's just a dildo, but it's like hyper realistic and only like 4.5 inches long. You're like, who the fuck sent me this?
I might giggle at it. No, I
And like
giggle at it.
and then like it just keeps happening. Once a month you get the same thing. And then like 1 month you open the box and it's like $250 in cash. And you're like, oh, this one's pretty good. I like this one. And then the next month comes and it's like $50 in cash. And then the next month comes and it's like a box of Russell Stover's chocolates. And then the next month comes and it's like a 4 foot long purple veiny big black dildo. And you're like, what the fuck? Who keeps sending me this shit? Like,
It's you the whole time. It's you. You keep doing it. You're spending a lot of money and life savings on cocks and stuff every month, though.
I went on Amazon. They sell little penis valve stem covers,
Yeah.
little veiny dick and balls that you just push them on over people's valve stems. I've done that a
Mhm.
couple of times. Just put penises on people's vehicles. That's pretty fun. That's a fun little.
That's cool.
That's a fun little haha trick.
That is a fun little haha trick. I enjoyed that. Okay. So, our segment.
Our
Andrew
segment.
Jackson, one of the presidents. Um, so let's get into this. So Andrew Jackson lived from March 15th, so not too long ago, was his birthday, 1767 to June 8th, 1845. He was 74, 76 years old when he passed away.
Owned
He was a seven.
approximately 300 slaves.
Yeah, he was. Well, we're getting there. Let me. You're just jumping in with random. It's all right. Um, he was the seventh president of the United States between 1829 and 1837. A military hero, a lawyer, a planter, and a central figure in the rise of Jacksonism, democracy. His life spanned the American Revolution through the antebellum era, marked by personal tragedy, relentless ambition, violent confrontation, including multiple duels, brawls, military triumphs, political innovation, and deep controversy, partially over Native Americans, removal, slavery, and his authoritarian style. He was a hot tempered, honor obsessed Scots Irish frontiersman who rose from the orphan to national icon. So
Also
that
had
the
a
whole
huge penis.
doesn't say that in there, but
He was
sure.
best known for his exceptionally large penis, which was heavily promoted as being the longest in the porn industry. It was, although claims have been made that his was actually between 10 to 14 inches, his ex-wives both stated he measured 10 inches. Had that
Are
fucking
you talking
hog
about the
on him.
same Andrew Jackson?
Hmm.
Okay. So Andrew Jackson was born March 15th, 1767, Waxhawk Settlement, a Scots-Irish Presbyterian community straddling the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. Exact site disputes, but he claims South Carolina. His parents, Andrew Jackson Sr., who was born in Ireland, Antrim, Ireland, and Elizabeth Hutchinson, immigrated uh, immigrated from Ulster in 1767, which is Ulster Island. His father died in 1767 at the age of 29, weeks before Andrew's birth, from a logging accident. Elizabeth raised Andrew
Oh
and his
no.
two older brothers, Hugh and Robert. Yeah. So automatically at the gate, I mean, and we'll see here in a little bit that death kind of just was over him in the beginning of his life. Um, and you got to think about it. Back in the day, like life was difficult. It was not an easy thing. It was not like today. It had to be 10 times more difficult to survive. Um and I mean, think about it. Like too, you get an infection, good luck. Um
Yeah, no kidding.
it was hard. Um his older brothers' name was Hugh and Robert, with relatives after moving in with his her sister Jane and brother-in-law James Crawford Jan, sorry, and her brother in law, James Crawford, on a small farm. The family was poor. Jackson received irregular schooling focused on reading, writing, arithmetic, and some Greek and Latin from a local clergyman because his mom hoped that he was going to be a pastor, which, looking back on it now, kind of funny just because of the fact that he was definitely not that. And so, and here's the thing, and when we talk about slavery or anything with the Indians, it is not that we're promoting it. It's just we're reading about this man. And at the time, things were different. We do not condone these things. It's just what we're reading. The family was poor, like I said, but he still learned how to read, write, and learned Greek and Latin. It says some, but like I said, his mother hopes that he was going to be a minister. Elizabeth instilled a fierce hatred of the British. His family were Irish. The Irish hated, a lot of the Irish hate the British, just don't like them because of the things that went on there. As a boy, Jackson was tall, thin, red haired, and quick tempered traits that defined him in his life. He worked briefly as a saddler's apprentice after the war. So, and think about this. This is wild. When you were 13 or 14, were you just dicking around with your friends and just chilling?
Yeah, yeah, we played a lot of video games. Um,
Yeah,
I remember, speaking of dicking around, I remember being the first in my friend group to get pubes.
that's hot. It's so hot. I want. It's so cool. I'm so proud of you, dog. You have no idea how proud of you I am right now. Like you've.
I remember being at the public pool back when we had a public pool. Me and all my friends were standing around, and like I woke up that morning and had, like my first ball whisker, and I opened my shorts. I was like, guys, check this out. Look at this. I got a pube. I got my first pubes. And they were like, whoa, oh my God, I can't believe it. And it was, yeah, just guys be just guys being dudes.
So, with that being said, this is gonna echo into what we're doing. At age 13 and 14, Jackson and his brothers joined the Patriot militia as couriers during the Revolutionary War in the Carolinas. Hugh died of heat exhaustion after the Battle of Stono Ferry,
Pussy.
June 1779. Yeah, and you and your pubes. The brutal Battle of
I'm still
Wax.
alive. I didn't die of
Yeah,
heat
yeah,
exhaustion, you pussy.
hilarious. And then the brutal Battle of Waxhawk, which is where they were from, where the British forces under Tautling massacred surrendering Americans, radicalized the families. Andrew and Robert drilled with the militia and fought at Hanging Rock in August 1780. In April 17 in April 1781, British troops captured the brothers at a relative's home when 14-year-old Andrew Jackson refused to polish a British officer's boots. The officer slashed his head and hands with a saber, leaving
Ouch.
permanent scars and lifelong limp. Both boys were imprisoned in a crowded, disease ridden camp. Camden, South Carolina, contracting smallpox. A prisoner exchange freed them in 1781. Robert died days later from complications. Their mother, Elizabeth, volunteered as a nurse on a
A
British
ghost in
prison
his
ship.
blood.
Yeah, that's what it was. Um, See, but that's what I'm saying. Like at 13, we were just horsing around. At 13 and 14, these kids were running like were running letters and orders back and forth in battles
Yeah.
and were being held captive. And this guy who's probably like just, has weapons, there's people around, he goes, shine my boots. Now I want you to look at my boots and I want you to shine them. And no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shine your boots. You can suck a dick.
Yeah.
All right. And then just with the saber and just no, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not saying there can't be tough men now, but dude, we were out here showing our friends our pubes. These dudes were out here like trying to like survive during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And like mom's dead, mom dies of cholera and or ship fever and George shot and yeah. So
Did you say
dude,
ship
so
with
at
a
the age of
P or
14,
shit
his
with a T?
ship with a ship, like not shit fever.
I thought you said shit
Yeah.
fever. I was like, oh God.
Hey, she had dysentery.
Yeah.
Um,
She shit herself to death.
yeah. Now this is where it becomes sad, dog. At the age of 14, he lost his dad before his birth. He's lost both brothers and his mother. He's orphaned at 14 with a deep anti-British and anti-aristocratic resentment. Jackson later called the British savage and vowed to never forget their cruelty, which again is quite funny given the fact that he had done some very disturbing things or ordered these disturbing things to happen to other people, and that one might say is cruel or
Well, he had a
savage. Now,
he had a bunch of kids with one of his slaves.
are you sure you're not thinking of Thomas Jefferson? Because Thomas Jefferson had a lot of children with one of his slave
Oh,
girls.
maybe I am.
I think you are. Um,
I get my
legal
I
career,
get my ancient I get my ancient history mixed up sometimes.
yeah. Legal career, marriage, and rise in Tennessee. In 1784, Jackson moved to Salisbury, North Carolina, to study law under Spruce McKay and John Stokes. Admitted to the bar in September of 1887, he was appointed prosecuting attorney of the Western District of North Carolina, future Tennessee. So that means it once was North Carolina, it became Tennessee. In 1788, he arrived in Nashville, which was a frontier outpost. So Nashville wasn't even a big city. It was just a front. It was just an outpost. It was just probably where you could drink. You could probably sleep with some prostitutes and chill out. Now where he boarded at a Don Nelson's Family Tavern, became a protege of William Blount, and speculated in land, often Cherokee and Chickasaw territory, opened by 1783 treaties. So he would like speculate and look at these treaties and like illegal stuff while trading enslaved people down in Mississippi. So he did have slaves. He did was heavily involved, it seems, in the slave trade itself. He met Rachel Don Nelson Robards, daughter of ta- tavern owner John Donelson, who was separated but not yet divorced from abusive Captain Louis Robards. Jackson and Rachel began living as husband and wife around 1791. Robards obtained a divorce in 1793 on grounds of adultery. So,
Hell yeah, ladies man.
so the way that sounds is like he filed for divorce because of adultery, because so they got together. I'm assuming what it says is that he didn't know, they didn't know that the divorce hadn't been gone through, which I think that's a lie. Jackson and Rachel married legally in January 1794. They brought Hunter's Hill Plantation, 640 acres near Nashville, in 1796. The irregular marriage became a lifelong political scandal, with opponents later accusing Rachel of bigamy and adultery. Jackson was fiercely protective over her honor. Now, here's some cool stuff. Dueling. All right. Jackson's reputation for violence was legendary and tied to his code of Southern honor. He was involved in numerous challenges. Exaggerated claims reach 100 plus, but historians confirm far fewer formal duels. He killed at least one man and was wounded multiple times. Dueling was common on the frontier for settling insults to honor, especially among lawyers and planters. So lawyers like, okay, Clyde, you've called me and my wife bad names. We shall shoot at one another. Um, we shall do this
How
now.
dare you?
How dare thee? Um, so in his first one, or one of the major ones, in 1788 in Jonesboro, Tennessee, first known duel with prominent lawyer Watstill Avery, Jackson challenged him after Avery sarcastically ridiculed Jackson's legal argument in court. That's not so, you moron. That's it. We shall do it to the death. Um,
I shall shoot you at high noon.
yeah. So, one account, Avery mocked Jackson's reliance on Bacon's abridgment. They met. Jackson fired and missed. Avery fired into the air or abstained, delivered a Cardinal lecture, and they parted as friends. Jackson written challenge survives. So Jackson misses, the guy fires in the air, which is basically like, man. And then or abstained, like, and then he delivered some like very, it says paternal lecture. I'm gonna have to edit out the first part. But it was a paternal lecture and they became friends. Like, I shot at you, but you might help me now. Come here. Cometh here, friend.
Come here, boy.
Yeah, come here, boy.
Come here. Come here, be my son.
Yeah. And so,
I
but
will teach you I will
Jackson,
teach you the ways of the land and how not to disrespect your elders.
so this was a written challenge. So he
Oh
didn't tell
God.
him he was going to duel. It was like written in a letter, like, I hereby decree, cometh, Tuesday at 8 a.m. we shall duel in the countryside.
We shall shoot to the death.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. Near Jonesboro, dueled with an unidentified opponent and an opponent in a meadow. Jackson
Hmm.
reportedly hit his man non-fatally. The opponent recovered and left town. 1803, multiple clashes with Governor John Seaver, rival for militia command. One street shootout in Knoxville. Another formal duel with Seaver's horse bolted with the pistol. Both men exchanged insults, but no shots. A bystander was slightly wounded in one incident. So think about it, dude. These guys are lawyers, governors, and they're having shootouts in the street. And then they're having formal duels as well.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you can't even
You
sit.
can't even like punch a guy.
No, no. Well, there's two states. I think it's Washington and Texas where it's a mutual combat. So, like, if a cop's there and you're like, "Hey, he and I want to fight each other," they're like, "Okay, you can fight." And so you can sit there and fight each other, but when someone goes down, like hits the ground, that's it.
It's like
You
hockey.
can't. They'll be like, "Yeah," they're like, "Nope." And so I think it's Washington and Texas. You can do that still.
Hmm.
Now,
So I found this little anecdotal article. They broke down all of our presidents in a list by the size of their dick, all the way
okay,
from 43 down to 1. Number 1 is Teddy Roosevelt. Andrew Jackson is number 3. It says Andrew Jackson was an evil man. That is just a fact. But as one of the perpetrators of the greatest acts of racism in American history, it's hard not to acknowledge that his had some power in his dick. Similar to the way that Sauron had a powerful dick but was unspeakably evil, Jackson is someone you have to begrudgingly admit had some power between his thighs. To displace an entire population, to send women and children across freezing plains for no reason other than you didn't like them, is sort of cocky evil that can only come from a place of deep and evil but large dick. Also, he's got a long face like a horse and they have huge dicks, so science.
science, science. Okay. Eight. Oh, look. Harrison's Mills in Kentucky near the Red River, most famous and deadly duel with Charles Dickinson, a prominent Nashville lawyer, horse breeder, and expert marksman. Feud began over a disputed horse bet. Dixon called Jackson a coward, liar, and cruelly insulted Rachel as a bigamist and adulteress in print. Jackson challenged him under the code duello. They stood 24 feet apart. Dixon fired first, striking Jackson in the chest near the heart. Bullet never removed, caused lifelong pain, possible lead poisoning. Jackson's pistol misfired, half cocked, violating strict rules. He recocked aimed deliberately and shot Dickinson dead. Jackson concealed his wounds under Dickinson until Dickinson died. He walked off the field. He carried the bullet for life and suffered chronic pain. This duel made him a temporary political liability, but burnished his name, man of honor. Yeah. And then 1813, not a formal duel, but deadly violence with Thomas Hart Benton and his brother Jesse. Jackson was shot in the shoulder slash arm. He later reconciled with Thomas Hart, who became a key
It's
political
a,
ally.
it's okay. I forgive you.
Yeah, dude, but see, these were like hard dudes. Like, I'm gonna shoot you. And then,
Hard dudes listen
yeah,
hard
hard dude.
rock and they're
Yeah,
rock hard.
hard. Yeah. But these were, think about it though. Like, you and me hate each other. I shoot you, you shoot me. And then we're like, you know what? You're pretty cool.
You know
You're all
what? You
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you got good aim. We could be
Yeah.
friends. You all right?
Yeah.
We
Mm.
boys.
Now, here's where we get into his military aspirations and also like his military career in a sense. And we can get into the banks. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but we can get to the banks shortly. Creek War, 1813 to 1814. After the Fort Mims massacre, Jackson led 2,500 men south. Uh, Victories at, I'm not going to try to say that, and
Try it.
Talladega. It was in Talashachi and Talladega devised battles of Horseshoe Bend, March 27th, 1814, crushed Red Stick Creeks, 800 warriors killed. He imposed a treaty of Fort Jackson, seized 23 million acres from Creeks, which are the Creek Indians, much from friendly tribes too. The War of 1812 invaded Spanish Florida. This is the one I was talking about. So he invaded Spanish Florida and captured Pensacola. Climax, the Battle of New Orleans. Climax, January 8th, 1815. Despite the war ending with a Treaty of Ghent, his ragtag forces, militia, free blacks, free African Americans, pirates under Jean Lafayette inflicted 2,000 British casualties versus 71 American. National Hero Award gold medals imposed martial law in New Orleans, executing deserters and arresting critics. So, yeah, and then the first Seminole War, invaded Florida, executing British agent Alexander Arbuthnot and Robert M. Brister, which was an international incident, led to Adams-Unis Treaty, ceding Florida to the U.S. So, but here's the thing: he negotiated massive land, but that was the thing, is that some of this was already negotiated. Like, he didn't have to do some of this; he just chose to, like. Again, remember, he hated the British, so he was going after these dudes like crazy,
Yeah.
trying to. But think about it, bro. Not only do you have a big cock, but you're running around states and like large land masses just murking people
Just
with just a bunch of
get
ragtag people. Yeah. And be like, this is ours.
yeah.
This is ours now.
Not
Just,
even
I'm
with
going
any
to take it
weapons,
from
just
you.
thumping them in the head with your dick.
Just bashing them with it. Just,
You
that's,
sneaking up behind them and choking them out with it.
yes. Now, his political career, he was a delegate to Tennessee's Constitutional Convention in 1796. First U.S. representative from Tennessee, 1796 to 1797. U.S. Senator from 97 to 98, 1823 to 1825. Superior Court Judge and military governor of Florida. It was brief. He resigned often, but built a base as a Democratic Republican. Now here we go with his presidency. We're going to get into the Indian Removal Act and the bank wars, and then that's kind of what we'll do. Jackson expanded executive power, vetoed more bills than predecessors combined, and appealed directly to voters. He paid off the national debt in 1835 first. Admitted Arkansas and Michigan negotiated trade deals, including the first with Siam, settled foreign claims, and covertly supported Texas independence. So he was secretly trying to get Texas. Now, spoil system slash rotation in office. Removed 20% of federal officials, 10% first year, replacing them with loyal Democrats, viewed as democratic reform against elitism. So we're seeing like, and once you read this, you're like, huh.
History always repeats.
Yep, the Petticoat Affair, 1829 to 1831. Cabinet wives ostracized Peggy Eaton, War Secretary John Eaton's wife, rumored promiscuous. Jackson defended her, forcing mass cabinet resignations, first in the U.S. history, strengthened his kitchen cabinet of formal advisors, which was Amos Kendall, and Francis Blair. Now, here's where we get into the Indian Removal Act. And I'll retell this story about Andrew Jackson, even though I've already told it. But an Indian chief, I'm sure I could look up who it was. Uh, and he was like, this Indian chief was very well known and was like representing the Indians in this regard. And he went to go see the president. Back in the day, you and me could go see the president. We could just walk into the White House and get an appointment with the president. Like
Yeah.
he would settle like land disputes and stuff. It wasn't like, but this Indian chief walked into the White House
Well,
like
they
with
didn't.
great
They didn't
honor.
have. They didn't have kooky, harebrained liberals back then.
No, they probably did. They probably just got shot.
Probably true. Yeah. Now they just get. They'd get walked right in there. Yeah,
And
you go. You go right ahead, and then pow. And then that's why
yeah,
they don't. That's why they don't do that anymore.
well, this Indian chief walked in there with great honor and respect and like carried himself well. And when after the meeting, when he was walking out of Andrew Jackson's office, he was crying. He was he was
Hell
weeping.
yeah.
It was like, yeah, hell yeah. Indian Removal Act of May 28th, 1930 authorized treaties exchanging Eastern tribal lands for Western territories. 70 treaties, 50,000 Native Americans relocated. Cherokee Trail of Tears, 1838 to 1839, under Van Buren, killed 4,000 Choctaw, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Seminole suffered similarly. Jackson saw it as a necessity for white settlements and state sovereignty, ignoring Worcester versus Georgia, 1832, added 170,000 square miles of public domain. So after that, he goes, all right, people, go ahead. Like, move
Yep.
in, move
You
into
go
these
on. We're
settlements.
coming in.
Yeah.
Knock knock. Here
Uh,
comes the cock.
Here comes the cock, Old Hickory. That's what his nickname was, Old Hickory, because he was so tough. Yeah, so.
Rock solid hickory
Yeah.
cock.
Rock hard men,
That's
listener.
right.
Hard rock. Nullification crisis. That was 1832 to 1833. North Carolina nullified tariffs of 1828 to 1832. Calhoun's theory. Jackson's proclamation denounced it as treason, deployed troops, and sieged Fort Bill. Compromise tariff of 1833 resolved it. Jackson preserved the Union, but deepened sectional tensions over slavery. So we're starting to see like some stuff really like, and it's like really bubbling. And 30 years from now, we're getting into
Got
the
a
Civil
got
War.
got a fart of brewing.
Yeah. The
Stuff's
bank
really
wars.
bubbling.
This is the first. This is very so he vetoed Second Bank of the United States recharter. He was the first president to veto that. They didn't veto that. And that was June 10th, 1932. As unconstitutional elite monopoly, the rich richer, removed federal deposits to pet banks, caused brief panic in 1833 to 8 through 1834, but debt paid off. Circular, my gosh. 1836 required gold silver for land, contributed to panic in 1837. Senate censored him, later expunged. So when a Senate like censored you, it's like as a president, it's not a good thing. It's basically them like
Yeah.
slapping you with some shit. Other
Gag
oppressed,
orders.
yes, he oppressed abolitionists, restricted their mail.
No
Made,
junk mail for
uh,
you.
yeah, survived assassinations attempt.
No. However, will I be offered these 15 credit cards that I get offered every year?
Well, back then they didn't have email, text, phone calls, so like your mail was everything.
Man,
That's
what
how
did
you
they
talk to
do?
people.
Yeah.
And so he was like, you know what? No mail for you. Be
Yeah.
fucks. Like, but
Excommunicated.
he survived assassination attempt in January 30th, 1835. Richard Lawrence pistols misfired. So like I said, he tried to shoot with one pistol, it misfired. So he pulled out another pistol, misfired. Jackson beat him with a cane, with his
Hell
cane,
yeah.
just got after it.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Fuck them
and then
up.
after that, yeah, and after that, he appointed Roger Taney as Chief Justice. He left office March 4th, 1837, with Martin Van Buren succeeding him. Here's his personal life, and then we're gonna get into the retirement, and then we're gonna be done with this. Jackson Offer owned the Hermitage Plantation near Nashville, growing cotton with up to 150 plus enslaved people by death. He and Rachel had no biological children, but adopted Andrew Jackson Jr., nephew, plus other informally. He suffered chronic health issues, dysentery, bullet wound, tuberculosis, and dropsy. Fiercely loyal to friends, vengeful to enemies, deeply religious later in life. He was a Presbyterian. Rachel's death
So he
devastated
only
him.
ate fish?
No, that's Episcopalian. So, I don't even know if that's right. I think it is.
Pescatarian.
Okay, jeez, whatever.
Episcopalian, I'm pretty sure, is also a religious denomination.
He retired to Hermitage, remained Democrat kingmaker, supported Van Buren in 1840. He lost. Then James K. Polk, which we need to get into Polk because Polk was like, look, I'll run
I
for
like his.
1 year.
I like. And his dots.
Thoughts. Yeah, I do too, but we're going to have a conversation after this podcast. So Polk was a G, though, because Polk was like, hey, look, I'll run for 1 year, for one term, I mean. I'll be your president for one term. You get all these other guys ready. So after me, and he did a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of stuff, and his presidency. Let's see. Advocated independent treasury and opposed Whig national bank plans. Health declined, but he stayed politically active. Jackson died June 8th, 1845 at 78 at Hermitage from
That's fucking
dropsy.
old for back then.
Yeah, tuberculosis
He
and
made a
heart
good run at
failure.
it.
Yeah, last words to family and friends and enslaved people. Do not cry. I hope to meet you all in heaven. Yes, all in heaven, white and black. Buried beside Rachel in Hermitage Garden tomb. Thousands attended his funeral, where the bird was,
I wonder.
which was too much.
I wonder if they called it heart failure because his heart stopped when he died. You know what I mean? Like people back
Probably.
then died of fever. So I wonder how they had the imagery to look inside of his chest and know that his heart was shit in the bed.
I mean,
I bet it was just, well, his heart stopped. His heart failed. Heart failure.
well, it's also kind of funny that he's on the $20 bill because he hated banks.
Yeah.
He hated banks. So it's kind of like a criticism dominated modern views. Indian removal policies caused immense suffering and cultural destruction, often called ethnic cleansing. He owned and profited from slavery. His spoil system and executive overreach set precedents for partisanship, dueling/violence reflected and reinforced a violent honor culture. He remains polarizing, removed from the $20 bill debate, yet studied as a founder of modern democracy. Historians rank him highly for impact, but note his racism and authoritarianism. Yes, his life. exemplified the raw energy of early American Republic. That's and dude, and I mean, we're probably missing a bunch, and I've probably been reading and talking about this for maybe for like 30 minutes. But like at the main thing of it all was like, yes, he was a bad man. Yes, he
Yeah,
did bad things,
huge dick
but
though.
and had a huge cock. Just just
Just a
huge cock.
hell of a ride on him.
Yeah. But like he transformed America in so many different ways and did some wild stuff. He paid off the debt. He vetoed the national banks. He saw corruption. After that, he was shot at and his life was like, they tried to get him. And so think about this. He did this. He'd have the bank wars, and 1835, a year before it kind of ended, there was an assassination attempt on him. Hmm, strange,
Yeah.
strange. But I don't see here where he didn't like Jews. They must have taken that out. But
Well, he owned slaves. He was a nationalist, so that probably came along with it.
yeah, but I don't know,
But he
man.
didn't like
Like,
banks, so
but he didn't.
ergo
But he, ergo, can't like the Jews.
Jews. Yep.
Yeah, Jews.
The
Yeah,
Jews. The Jews really.
our screens freeze and a giant Star of David appears and just starts rubbing hands, and you
Just.
just hear dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. Yeah. We look at all of our stuff and there's no more views. We have no more views.
Just
Like
zero.
everything's gone. Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
gone.
They
But
wipe us from the internet.
here's the thing about him, and I'm sure many of the founding fathers, but like Abraham Lincoln, all these dudes started in like cabins out in the middle of nowhere
Mm,
and went from being, in his case, from being just a courier to an orphan to a lawyer to a senator to a president. And then not only
to a
that, but
president.
in between there, dueling just in the streets
Yeah.
and like just
He was a
wreaking
right.
havoc and war.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but
Hell of a guy.
here's the hell of a dude, enough to where thousands of people went to his funeral, which I'm sure they were just happy. Some of them were happy to see him go.
Yeah,
And
probably. I'm sure there was
that was,
more than plenty of those people.
and then his Angry Bird Paul that had such a
They
terrible
had that
mouth that
game
they
back
had to.
then.
Yeah, well, no, it was a bird. Remember, so he had a parrot, and his name was Paul, and he hung around Andrew Jackson and soldiers so much that he had such a foul mouth that they had to remove him from the funeral because he was just
Just telling
going
people to go
off on
fuck
people.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just saying all kinds of crazy stuff, and then people are like, "Oh God, what is this bird? Take it out, give it
Demons.
away."
It's
Yeah,
been possessed by a demon.
there's a demon bird in that hallway there. It's like, okay, like, okay. But yeah, dude, he had tuberculosis, he had dysentery, and yet still kicked it until
coughing,
he was
coughing,
7. Yeah,
coughing blood, shitting himself to death, heart
yeah,
failing.
yeah.
And
But
he's just
still
living his
took it to
life.
him.
Yeah.
Still took it to him every day though until he was 78.
Yeah.
He's an old dude, and I
God.
mean, like here's the thing. I again not defending him, but like the first like 18 years of his life was very difficult, bro.
Not defending him, but like here I go defending him for the next 5 minutes.
No, I'm saying that his life for the first 18 years of his life was probably very difficult.
Yeah,
It's a
probably.
very hard thing to go through. And um you know what,
Well,
I'll look this up.
aren't all of our lives difficult to go through for the first 18 years? Mom and dad don't understand us, you know. I
I
just want to grow my hair out, Mom.
I I don't have anything to say to that. I don't have
It's not just a phase, Mom.
Yeah, it's not just says there's no historical evidence, record, anecdotes, or rumors or reliable account of Andrew Jackson's penis size. Confessions of his genitalia, contemporary descriptions of his physical appearance focus on his tall, lean build, about 6'1" in his prime, gone from and gout from later gout
Damn.
or gaunt from illness, red hair, which grade, scattered. Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about ranking or jokes, such as Sartella says big dick energy list due to his aggressive personality, dueling reputation, and horse face features are pure humor and internet means fodder, not based on facts. This often ties to his hyper masculine
How
front
dare you
sphere
fact
image.
check me?
Um, in short,
Here
Jackson's
I am.
documented life.
Here I am bringing
Good.
joy and comedy to your story.
I brought some comedy to the story as well.
You know, here's something else that's funny. So I scrolled up on that list of big dick presidents, and number 41 is Woodrow Wilson. Number 42 is Donald Trump. It says small dick, smaller brain. Am I right, girlies? That's all it says. But Woodrow Wilson says Woodrow's dad's name was Joseph Ruggles Wilson, which is a small dick name for a man who would have a small dick son. Woodrow went on to be president of the smallest dick school in the Ivy League, Princeton, the Grand Academy of Big Virgins. Even though he only learned to read at age 10 because he spent too much time examining his dick with a comical Victorian magnifying glass instead of studying the alphabet. When he was president, he was famously too scared to join the League of Nations as he knew all European heads of state had bigger dicks than his and would tease him by pinning him down at post-war conferences and teabagging him.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
There's one on here. There's one on here for where is it? Obama. So George Washington, anime king George Washington looks sad and is totally the baddest kid in school. That long hair, those gigantic eyes, that skinty neck. Anime Washington is the first president of these cheeks. If there was a drawing of this gargantuan cartoon dick, even bigger than his blue eyes, it would need its own sheet of paper.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. I don't know where we're going with this. I want to ask you a very serious question though. Two-parter.
George H.W. Bush. Now, while his son clearly had the far superior and bigger dick, we can't forget about the elder Bush. In boldly lying to the American people while campaigning in 1988, he cemented himself in the great American tradition of big dick dudes lying to the people and getting away with it. His big dick energy may not be as obvious as his son's, but boy is it there. Nowadays, you see him rolling around with a big old grin on his face despite the fact that he's barely lucid. And why? It's the natural confidence of a man who can outdick everyone in the room and still have some peen left over. But guess who's the exception to the Bush family big dick rule? Old Jeb, the man who lost the Republican nomination that was basically gifted to him, has such a small dick that he's not even allowed to sit at the table with the rest of the family at Thanksgiving.
I'll never get those 3 or 5 minutes back.
Barack
I'll never get
Obama,
that
there it
back.
is, smoked
Jesus Christ.
smoked mad cigs and wore a hat that told the world my dick is pretty big. It's chill. It's pretty simple. You were only allowed in the Choom gang if you had a big dick. Would be at the top of the list, but he once wore a cell phone belt holster, which is a small dick move.
I thank you for reading that.
Abraham
I
Lincoln.
appre Jesus. Okay.
As
Go
Abraham
ahead.
as Abraham Lincoln once famously said, "If you are racist, I will attack you with the North." Now that phrase alone bellies the sort of supreme confidence that can only come from a dick as long as your head is tall. Lincoln was a man who used long dick to fuck the South so bad that they still haven't really recovered. His dicking of the Confederacy was so deep and so hard that they couldn't handle the shame of being cock-slapped by Honest Abe and had to send out Tiny Dick John Wilkes Booth to kill him like a coward. After his death, Mary Todd Lincoln was sent to a psychiatric institution to be treated for the first reported case of big dick withdrawal.
Okay.
That
I
last part's
appreciate.
actually like halfway true.
Yeah. Yeah. She was batshit crazy. She was. She really was. So, and I have a question for you.
This is a fun little website. I'm gonna come back to this.
How many people do you think overall were drafted into World War One, and how many people do you think died in World War One? Just random guess.
At least 12.
12. Okay. Well, since your dog shit answers, I'll go ahead and tell you over 65 million men over 30 countries fought in World War One.
It's a lot of big dick dudes.
Devastating loss. Nearly 10 million soldiers died, and the
Damn.
average about 6,000 soldiers every single day for the duration of the war. The youngest soldier, Sidney Lewis, was only 12 years old when he lied about his age to join the British Army. He fought. Well, first of all, whoever let him in knew exactly that that kid was fucking 12 and let him just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Um, Russian resilience, not going to talk about that because that right there, that flag right there. So we're not going to talk about their resilience right now. Um, that's about it. First tanks, the first ever tank was used. And see, the British came up with the tank, and uh, Churchill came up with it. And so, and he was like the head of like the Navy. And so he couldn't make anything that was like over land. So they called it a land boat. And that's how the tank got its first name. Dazzle camouflage. Instead of trying to hide ships, the Navy painted them in wild, jagged, geometric patterns. I
In
thought that
this
was World War II.
in the spirit of talking about dicks, the first practical tank was designed by Sir William Triton and Major Walter Gordon Wilson in 1915, resulting in the prototype Little Willie.
That's You're a beacon of hope and joy. I appreciate. Here's If you laid out all the trenches dug on the Western Front, they would stretch over 25,000 miles, enough to circle the entire Earth.
Damn. It's a lot of,
Yeah,
it's a lot of
it's a,
trenches. It's a lot of rot. It's a lot of rotten feet too.
the Christmas truce in 1914. Soldiers on both sides declared an unofficial truce, sang carols, and played soccer matches in no man's land. Now, here's another thing. There was so in World War One. I don't know where. If it, I know it had involved Germany, but I don't know what other country it involved. But dudes were being picked off by wolves,
Oh.
and like at a crazy rate. So they halted the war in that region, so both sides could hunt wolves to like no more wolves, and then
Yeah.
they returned back to battle.
Hell yeah.
That's yeah, that's
Man.
wild. Oh, I gotta look that up. Here's something. Russia mobilized forces 12 million, total casualties 9,150,000, 9.15 million. I'll just say that. Germany 11 million, lost 7.2 million. France 8.4 million, lost 6.1.6 million, and British Empire 8.9 million, and they lost 3.19 million. Um Wolves and WW1. Let's see what it says. The Wolf Truce, according to contemporary newspaper reports, most famously dispatched in the New York Times in July 1970, starving wolves packs began attacking both German and Russian soldiers in the trenches, which caused a temporary ceasefire. Soldiers allegedly stopped shooting at each other to deal with the wolves. That's crazy.
I thought so. The first tank was actually designed in the late 15th century by Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah,
Yeah, I
just never
thought
came to
so. I was
fruition.
like, now, because I was like, when was the tank first invented? And that didn't seem right. So I looked it up and it said Leonardo da Vinci's tank, often referred to as his armored vehicle, was conceived around 1487 while he was under the patronage of whoever the hell that is, the Duke of Milan. The design featured a conical shape inspired by a turtle shell intended to deflect enemy fire. The vehicle was envisioned to be powered by 4 men operating cranks from within, allowing it to move in any direction from the battlefield. It was equipped with light cannons positioned around its perimeter, enabling it to fire at enemies from multiple angles. It just never, like you said, never came to fruition. They never actually built it.
Well, everybody, I hope that you enjoyed our segments. It will get better as time goes on with how I actually do my research and how I actually lay this stuff out and script it out. But
I
I
really
hope you
enjoy just
enjoy.
sitting here making dick jokes while you're reading that.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the dick jokes.
That's a lot of fun for me.
I hope you enjoyed the dick jokes. I hope you enjoyed my co-host commentary on dog water restaurants, and I really hope
How
that
dare you?
everybody has. Yeah, well,
We're
I'll
gonna,
say it again. Poor taste.
gonna rehash that.
That's fine. We'll rehash it. I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching our videos. We really appreciate it. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Even sometimes though they're ridiculous and people are weird. And
People
I
are weird and say dumb shit,
yes, they are. And
but
I hope that
all that does is it boosts our engagement and keeps us growing and moving around. So
yeah.
keep the hate comments. Keep saying stupid shit. We'll keep replying to you.
I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you, Colton. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Uh,